Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzanga, bringing you up to speed with the big happenings in politics and in the polity. Let's begin with the headlines. Tension right there at the Wadata Plaza, the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, with unusual presence of the Nigerian police force denying access to members of the BOT, saying it's order from above. Suspended Senator Natasha Akpabio arraigned by the federal government on alleged cybercrime. It's been a very busy weekend, and it looks like it's going to be an eventual one beginning today. We're already seeing happenings across board. Our responsibility is simple, is to give you all access pass to those big happenings in the polity and in politics at midday. Let's tell you how the federal government has now arraigned Senator Natasha Akpabio on a 6-count charge bordering on alleged cybercrime. According to the charge sheet before Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court Abuja, Senator Natasha had alleged on live television that the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, former Governor of Kogi State Yaya Bello, are plotting her assassination. The senator representing Kogi Central has, however, pleaded not guilty. Senator Akpabio was arraigned on a similar charge on June the 19th at the FCT High Court. At the last hearing, the judge refused the request of the federal government to have Senator Oduahan arrested for failing to appear for trial. The Nigerian government, through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, had instituted a lawsuit bordering on defamation against the senator. Applying for bail, our counsel and senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Roland Otaro, requested that she be granted bail on self-recognition as a senator of the Federal Republic and a senior member of the bar. The court then granted her bail on self-recognition. The case now has been adjourned to September the 22nd for continuation or commencement of trial. Senator Akpabio was accompanied to the court by her husband and some other persons, including an activist, Aisha Yusufu, and her supporters. All right, in just a moment, we'll show you scenes from the Wadata Plaza. For those of you who don't know, Wadata Plaza is the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in the nation's capital. The police have now taken over after an unusual deployment at the National Secretariat, as staff who were earlier allowed into the premises have all been asked to go out of the building. Journalists have also been asked to leave the Wadata premises. The police has denied members of the PDP BOT from holding a meeting at the Wadata Plaza. The meeting was to precede the expanded caucus meeting. The former National Secretary of the party, Mr. Umar Tausin, told journalists that the police stopped them and said he's acting in accordance with order from above. Some members of the PDP who were there left the premises after they were disallowed entrance into the NEC halls, which was supposed to be the venue of their PDP NEC meeting. The policemen mounted guard at the gates of the NEC hall, preventing members of the BOT from gaining access to the venue of their meeting. Let's take a listen to one of the BOT members, Chief Alabode George, and some of the remarks he made concerning this.
Meeting that we cannot, you don't resolve, because PDP is not a private enterprise. You don't resolve it outside. You must sit down. So if you want us to resolve our crisis, you keep it crisis. I said it's no crisis. It's a disagreement between two people. And we will sit down like you do in a family. If you have a family problem, do you start to go and get the police to block your house and all that and go to the marketplace?
Thank you.
Please. Let's be civil in this country. Because the public is watching. Everybody is looking at Nigeria. Now the president is on visit to to somewhere in West Indies. How would they hear? This is what they are doing in your country. What are you doing here?
And is it also a move to a one-party state, sir?
It's okay, my dear.
Whether they move to one party or half a party, are they not Nigerians? They are going to vote for them. The choice of the people is the power that you exercise. If the people say no and you say yes, who are you? Democracy is about the power of the base. And that power of the base decides, look, we trust you to manage the resources of this country for the benefit of the people. Not your family, not yourself. At the 8th floor of life, who is afraid? I've seen it. So for you younger generation, so that you don't experience the mess we experienced when we were growing up, please let them, everybody sit down in their corner ready for the contest, fairly and justifiably.
From coming into the secretariat, telling them that there is no meeting.
Sorry, they were stopping who?
BOT members from entering. My only offense is that I said there is BOT. That's my only offense. I've not said anything more than that before they started insulting me and bungling me out of the office. I'm a staff of the National Secretariat of the PDP. This kind of thing cannot continue. One man cannot hold the whole country to ransom. We are holding our meeting here today. They should open the place for us to hold our meeting. That's all. One man cannot hold this country to ransom. What is our offense as a party?
What's your name?
My name is Ibu Thomas.
Who is that man that is holding?
Yes, on Wike.
Well, those are allegations. We don't know for sure who is responsible for. That's a big question, exactly. So for those of you who may not be familiar with what's going on, the PDP had a NEC meeting. They call it the 99th NEC meeting. It was the meeting that held after several postponements. At that meeting, there was a crucial decision that was to be taken. Who is the National Secretary of the party, which has even gone to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ruled. But it still became a contentious issue. So they shifted that and they said at the 100th NEC meeting, which was supposed to be today, that decision will be made. Now, if there's going to be perhaps a change in leadership of the party for whatever reason, INEC has to be involved. The PDP, led by acting national chairman Umar Damagun, went to INEC secretariat in company of some other PDP governors. And INEC told them, we don't have a problem with you. Go sort your house in order and tell us exactly who is your national secretary, because when letters are coming here, we want to see chairman and secretary, because we've had 3 names. After the meeting, Umar Damagun, Bala Mohammed, a couple of other persons, and now said, look, given what has played out, Mr. Samayahu should continue as national secretary of the party. However, the meeting that was supposed to be NEC today has now been recharacterized, if you will, to what they call expanded caucus. Well, just a few hours after, some other NWC members said, no, Mr. Damagun and Bala Mohammed do not have the power to veto NEC, to change what the meeting was supposed to be, because what will happen today is still NEC. Yesterday, just take a listen to what happened in Enugu before I bring in my guest.
Contrary to a purported notice being circulated in the social media suggesting that the 100 NEC meeting has been converted to a special expanded national caucus meeting, the NWC states in clear terms that the said notice did not emanate from the PDP and should be disregarded. The NWC emphasizes that there's no provision whatsoever for an expanded national caucus in the constitution of the PDP or any guideline of our party. For the avoidance of doubt, Section 30 of the constitution of the PDP is unambiguous in providing for a national caucus for the party with its composition, functions, and meetings clearly spelled out, leaving no room for any form of expansion.
Well, that position has the backing of Sheyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, the governor of Enugu State, Mr. Peter Amba. So who is the NWC? Is it Damagun and Balam Damagun alone, or this other gentleman? So it's a divided house. Perhaps that's why we have the presence of the police. But the question now is, who ordered the police to stop people from getting access into the place? Well, there are men as alleged as news on Wiki. We don't know that for sure. Let's bring in our guest. He's a communication and strategy consultant to the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, Mr. Ken Okolugbo, joining us virtually. Mr. Okolugbo, thank you for coming on the program. Let me begin.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start. You have left the PDP, so that I'm sure who I'm talking to. Because everybody in Delta is not APC.
But you know, I can still speak authoritatively.
I know. I wanted to put it on record. Now, when you look back at your former party, for those of us who are journalists, we're shaking our head, we're squirming on our seat, we're like, what exactly is going on? What do you make of this?
No, but you see, Geoffrey, you can see Arakwaja is actually the problem here. The young man that you interviewed at the headquarters of the PDP was being economical with the truth when you say Nyesom Wike is a problem. It's very clear. They went to INEC, and INEC made a pronouncement. And, I mean, Bukola Saraki was not only a former Senate president, he was a former governor, and he's the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee. And he clearly said that INEC told them that the only person they recognize as a secretary of the party, as it is today, is Sam Anyanwu, otherwise known as Sam Daddy. And Damagu, even when he held his press conference, said it was quite, maybe more like a bitter pill to swallow. And that the truth of it was that they have to recognize the fact that Sam Anyanwu is a person recognized by INEC now as the secretary of the party. And even though I've left the PDP, I am very aware that the only person that can call the meeting of NEC is the chairman. And now the chairman has said that the meeting that has been agreed on, which would have been the number 100 meeting of the of NEC, has been turned into an expanded caucus. If I were in their shoes, I would take that opportunity, and whatever anger or whatever issues I want to ventilate, I'll ventilate it at the caucus. So what did you expect the police to do? The police is only there to keep peace, if you may ask me, from what I can see. If you have said the NEC has not been cancelled, you are saying you want to have your own meeting, the chairman is saying that, no, we are going to have an expanded caucus. Do you want the breakdown of law and order before you call in the police? I think the police is there to nip it in the bud, if you ask me, in my own opinion.
Well, because now they are interpreting it as a police. And one of the words I hate the most in a democracy, I personally hate it. I don't think any Democrat should like it, is that word, order from above. It is a very mysterious, mischievous word that can be attributed to anybody. So we do not know whose order this is.
I think in all honesty, Geoffrey, if the chairman of the party, listening to Arakwaja, and also maybe getting the feelers, I mean, I'm just looking at it from a holistic point of view. He would most likely have been the one that could have alerted the police to say, look, for us to have peace, you need to come to the secretariat of the party.
Okay, I understand. It just why I'm saying that is just that this is who gave the directive or who invited us in a society like ours is very clear. But I'm just getting some information that the NEC, the change of venue for the PDP Board of Trustees, it has now been moved it was scheduled for 10 a.m. at the Secretariat, but it's now been moved to the Yaradua Center, Central Business District, Abuja. So apparently the caucus will still meet. The BOT will meet ahead of whatever it is that will happen later, whether it's caucus or NEC, we're not sure. But we're looking and watching as that plays out. Let's even come to the APC that is your new family now. They are not devoid of their own wahala as well, like you say it in Nigeria, where they have been saying there's really no problem. But there are so many speculations as to the effect of why did Omar Ganduje leave the party. Some people are saying the North Central has been crying out loud, look, since Adamu left, we need a replacement from our area. There are people that are talking about his management of the Gombe issue, about who is going to be running with the president, whether or not Kashim Shettima is going to be on the ticket again. There are also several other issues as to issues around him and Kwankwaso, that Kwankwaso may be coming to the party, so he has to be excused as to the leadership position because they are sworn enemies. What do you make of it?
I think these speculations are unfounded. You cannot cry more than the bereaved. The former chairman, Ganduje, was very clear. He said he left for his personal reasons and to attend to his health. The issue of health can happen to anybody. We just can't question. And he alone knows what his health status is and have said, look, for me, I can't continue with, I mean, people don't seem to understand. The chairmanship of a political party, especially the one that is ruling, is very tedious. You can find yourself traveling to 5 states in less than a week. You can find yourself somehow going to 8 states in less than even a week. And so he has decided to give way. And there's an acting chairman, Dalori, who was not only a councillor, was a former local government chairman, and was also a state chairman of the party. And so I don't think people should start, imputing crisis or giving the impression that the party is not together. That is why Ganduje resigned. He has given his reasons. If there are any other reasons beyond what he has given, the people that are giving this or trying to say that that is not the exact reason should make those evidences available. And there is no vacuum because unlike in the PDP where you have been seeing crises left, right, and center, I feel quite bad because that used to be my party and it's a shame what is going on in that party now. But the APC immediately filled up that vacuum without any rancor coming from anywhere. So I don't think that it's right for you to say that there is rancor. It's just a case of one person stepping aside. Yes, he's a very important person being the chairman of the party, but that void has been filled up until the time when the NEC will meet or a convention takes place. Then we'll be talking about replacing
Well, Mr. Akpabio, it's not my submission. I just told you what has been flying around. Because I also like you to speak to this as well, to the effect that if there were no issues propping up, why are these guys from the Northeast saying they are agitating and putting pressure already, although the president has a right, reserves the right to choose who he wants to be his running mate. But what do you think they are the feelers they are getting? Some have already started doing those calculations, like the North Central is saying, the North Central is saying the Northwest is all over the place. They have speaker, they have DSP, they have national chairman. What is there for us apart from SGF in that sense? But what do you think is propping that agitation that the president must or should, it's not a must, should consider Kashim Shettima for a running mate in 2027?
I think these are just mere rumors. Certainly when these rumors...
No, Mr. Akpabio, it's not rumor. Just my apologies. They said they want him to be running mate, so it's not rumor. Whether he is going to run with him or not is his own excuse.
It's why I say it's rumor is that the dramatis personae is the commander-in-chief. He's the only one that reserves the right to choose his running mate. And primaries will be maybe in 7-8 months from now when INEC will give his guidelines. The last primaries were held in May, ending of May. So maybe in less than a year, it would kickstart. When he has been confirmed as the candidate of the party, which certainly he'll be confirmed, the commander-in-chief, he will name his running mate. If he has not said anything, then I don't see why anybody will say it is not rumor. It is mere speculative. And the people of the Northeast also are agitated because they are acting on the fact that these are the things that they've been hearing and they want to protect their own. But the president has not spoken. Even the vice president, Shettima, has also not spoken. So I don't think we should be the outsider crying more than the bereaved at this point.
So, Mr. Akpabio, before I begin to wind down, I know that on the other day I had Madam Ankyo Briggs, an activist and one of the elder stateswomen in River State, had made some statement regarding your principal, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the president of the Senate. I want you to take a listen, and I'd like your response.
Have a man that is not from River State, that is in our government house, overseeing our money. How much we don't know. What is he using it to do? We don't know. And yet the budget has been increased, and the National Assembly under President Akpabio is a great disappointment and pain to the people of River State. I don't know what we have done to the former governor of Akpabio State, now the president of the Senate. Why he is doing things that are so unacceptable to the people of Rivers State. The way he passed the acceptance of IBAS, the way he did it with voice vote. Now the way he's gone about the increase of, from 1.4 billion to 1.8 billion.
Because of time, yes.
Akpabio has money. If they want to share money amongst themselves or to Nigeria, why can't he take it from Akpabio?
Mr. Akolugbo, how did the SP receive that when you heard it?
I think, is it Miss, you call her Mrs. and Q Briggs? I think she was just being quite irresponsible with her statements. First of all, the National Assembly has an ad hoc committee that is set up, that is headed by no other person but Bamidele Okoyemi, who is the leader of the House. They did not only scrutinize that budget, everybody watched online when it was 3 or 4 days that they took in ensuring that they dotted their I's and they crossed their T's. And even at the debate session, you would remember that Senator Ningi pointed out that 50 billion that was added for pensions and gratuities should be properly monitored because there is a deficit of 147 billion. The budget is 1.45 trillion. And the administrator said the increment was made because they now found out that there was more revenues that were beyond what Governor Fubara envisaged when he actually put up the initial budget. And 85% of that budget was Fubara's budget. Is Q saying that the Supreme Court is wrong in declaring that budget illegal? If a budget has been declared illegal and a proper committee has been put in place, the president has declared a state of emergency, the president has submitted that budget and the budget has been passed into law by the Senate, how will she personalize it to Akpabio? I just think people, depend on what we call military-industrial complex. They like war and pestilence. They don't like peace. So that is what I'll liken her to.
Okay, if you
liken her to somebody who do not want.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead, please.
I can hear you.
Okay, I thought you were done with your statement.
Yes,
okay,
I said I would liken her to people. No. I said I would liken her to those who suffer from military-industrial complex, who do not want peace. You understand? And they benefit from when there is war and there is pestilence. If not, why would you personalize it to Akpabio and say that Akpabio should go to his state? Is he the governor of his state? Does he control the budget of his state? What has been done has been properly done. What I expect her to do at this point in time is to rally around the peace which has been found between Governor Fubara and his exile, the exile governor and the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, rather than trying to cry more than the bereaved.
There are two things she made. She made reference to the budget. She made reference to the issue. And I want you to speak broadly as a Nigerian now. When she referenced Akpabio, how the sole administrator, as a matter of fact, we know there's no such thing as sole administrator in our constitution. At least all of us can agree on that. The argument we are having is to how far the constitution gives the president discretionary latitude in terms of extraordinary situation. Because there are 5 ways the governor leaves office. His tenure expires, court removes him, he resigns, he dies, or she dies, or there's an impeachment. These are the clear ways in the Constitution we're very clear about. So that ambiguity is what is being queried as to how far-reaching. But I want you to look at it away from being your principle, and because in endorsing that proclamation, which was a very controversial one, we saw a situation where constituents were divided. Some were for it, some were against it, as to uprooting democratic institutions. But somehow we found our legislators having a unified position, almost unanimously saying the president was right. So if you're representing constituents who are divided, how that the representative of the constituents are now united, because there's a 2/3 majority, and we didn't get to see clearly in terms of 2/3 majority how they voted. Voting in the National Assembly is not just about voting, it's about tracking conviction and patterns. What do you make of it on that part of our statement?
If you look at it, it has been addressed severally by Senator Yemi Adaramudu, the spokesperson of the Senate. I was in the office that day, and you see, what most people didn't understand is that, unlike the House of Rep, in the case of the Senate, they are not supposed to even take their decisions in the open. They're supposed to go into executive session, which they did. And if you remember, the only person that actually voiced out his, will I say, voiced out his opinion and said he was not in support of it was actually distinguished Senator Seriake Dixon. And they had taken the decisions at the executive session. And when they came into the open, the president of the Senate still put it to vote. He could have easily just said that, oh, we have settled at the executive session. We had received 2/3 of the majority of senators who have passed this into law. Well, it still carried the majority of the day. And even after that decision has been taken, apart from Senator Seriake Dixon, you have not heard any other senator, disavow it. So when people say 2/3 was not achieved, I think they're being economical with the truth. And again, don't forget that the president has the powers to declare a state of emergency. And this state of emergency is being tested now. The governors of PDP, about 10 of them or so, are in court and are testing it in the Supreme Court. So, Geoffrey, let us allow the Supreme Court tell us if the president was right or wrong.
What the content, I understand
decision.
perfectly. Yeah, it's not, I think the issue around state of emergency is neither, people are debating. The issue is about uprooting democratically elected officials. That is the bigger issue. It's even bigger than the state.
That was actually part of the prayers of the PDP government.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to reference because the Constitution is very clear on how vote. Look, I'm sure, Mr. Okologbo, you're a very bright man now. You're very exposed. You see what's happening in the Senate with the big, beautiful bill. We can clearly see how each senator voted, why they voted. You see how they present on issues that are borderline, constitutional issues. But what's your...
But Geoffrey, are you aware that even beyond this, the Senate has had 52 of their bills signed into law? That's record. That's uncommon. Let me use the word in 2 years. Are you aware that 96 bills have been passed into law?
I'm aware.
And over 900 bills, yes. And you see, let us also face realities. 5 regional development commissions have not only been passed into law in this Senate, it has been signed by the president and has been properly constituted. Before now, it was only one we have had, which is the NDDC, apart from the Northeast Development Commission. So in 24 years, what was not achieved was achieved in one fell swoop. So let us also give it to the Senate when we start talking about some of their demerits. Let us give them their merits, which completely outweigh their demerits.
They are the people's representative. That's why it's called the People's House. On issues that borderline can breach Constitution, this is why people, you can do 50 things, but I
don't think we'll say the Constitution was breached until the Supreme Court.
I'm just saying. I'm not making, Mr. Kolobo, I'm not making that pronouncement. I'm saying that has caused that division that necessitated going to court, which we're waiting for the court to make pronouncement. That's my reference, not like a pronouncement.
But you see, it's important the Supreme Court takes a decision so that it will guide us in future. It will serve as a judicial precedent so that any other Senate or any other House of Rep, if such a state of emergency is taken by another president, will be properly guided that way. But as for the fact that they met to TED, like I said, the Senate spokesperson, Yemi Adaramudu, has overflogged this issue.
All right, Mr. Ken Okolugbo, it's an ongoing conversation. I don't know what to say. I wish your old party well and your new party. I don't even know how to put it. Ken Okolugbo, former member of the PDP.
I wish my new party well.
Yeah,
the old party. I wish they have an opportunity to stabilize the ship, but they are destroying it more. And I feel very bad and ashamed because I was a PDP, not only a member of their presidential campaign council. I spoke for them for so many years.
Yes, I know.
It hurts me to also see them getting decapitated like this.
It's quite disheartening to see because now they are making the media to look like the direct opposition. That's not our job. Ken Okolugbo, special advisor on communication strategy consultant to Senator Godswill Akpabio. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
All right, that's it on the program. Thanks for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.